Tonight, you will probably sleep on something softer than almost every human who ever lived. And you may not think about it at all. You walk into a room, turn off the light, close the door, pull up a blanket, and let a mattress hold your weight. If the room is cold, you raise the heat. If it is hot, you turn on a fan or air conditioning. If a sound comes from outside, a wall, a lock, and a window stand between you and the dark. Now remove all of that. No mattress, no pillow, no bedroom, no locked door, no heater, and no clean floor. No alarm clock. No guarantee that the thing moving outside your shelter is only wind passing through the dark. For ancient humans, sleep was never just rest. Sleep was the moment when the body became helpless. The eyes closed, the hands released their tools, the muscles relaxed, and the world did not become safer because humans were tired. This is the strange part. Every night, ancient humans had to do something dangerous in order to survive. They had to sleep. So how did they do it without beds? The first answer sounds simple. They slept on the ground. But that answer is wrong in the most important way. Because the ground was not a bed at all. The ground was cold. The ground was hard. It held insects, dampness, sharp stones, dust, ash, and old animals' smells. It could steal warmth from the body faster than the air above it, especially when the night turned damp. And in a world without walls, choosing the wrong patch of ground could turn rest into fear. Ancient humans were not stupid. They did not simply collapse wherever they got tired. They learned that sleep had to be built. Long before modern mattresses, humans were already changing the sleeping surface beneath them, turning rough earth into something slightly safer. In some places, archaeologists have found traces of plant bedding, layers of grasses, sedges, rushes, leaves, and other soft materials. This was not a luxury mattress. It was a survival layer, thin, fragile, and still important against stone and cold. A few centimeters of plants could lift the body away from cold stone, damp earth, crawling insects, and painful pressure. It could soften shoulders, hips, knees, and ribs, places where hard ground quickly turns rest into aching. It could separate skin from insects, dust, and dampness, and when it became dirty, people could replace it. Imagine a person gathering dry grass near camp. To us it looks simple. To them, it prepared the most vulnerable hours. A bed, in its earliest form, may not have looked like furniture. It may have looked like chosen earth. It may have been dry plants, animal hide, ash, and memory arranged under a tired human body. But comfort was only one part of the problem. The bigger problem, especially at night, was heat. Modern beds hide this from us. A mattress does not just feel soft, it separates us from the floor. Blankets do not just feel cozy, they trap warm air close to the skin, building a tiny climate. A bedroom does not just give privacy, it creates a small, protected environment around the sleeping body. Ancient humans had none of that in the modern sense. If they slept directly on cold ground, warmth escaped all night. This is why ancient bedding was not only about softness, it was insulation, a thin boundary against the cold world. Dry grass, leaves, reeds, hides, ash, shelter walls, and human bodies close together all helped keep living warmth from escaping. Picture an ice age night. Not endless snow everywhere, but cold seasons, open winds, shelters, forests, caves, and hungry animals. A small group settles near protection. Someone feeds the fire. Someone drags plant material into a safer sleeping place. Someone shakes out a hide. A child is pulled closer to an adult body. The oldest person listens longer. There is no bed frame, no mattress, no separate room. But there is still a careful system. The ground is chosen. The bedding is arranged. The fire is placed. The bodies cluster. The entrance is watched. That is what sleep was before beds. Not one object, but a whole survival arrangement. And this is where the modern mind gets it wrong. We imagine ancient humans sleeping miserably every night. But they were adapted to their world. They knew which places stayed dry, where wind moved, and where smoke gathered. They knew one camp might work in summer, but fail in rain, when water crept through the sleeping place. One cave might be warm but smoky. One open shelter might show danger coming, yet expose everyone to wind. A place near water might help by day and become risky by night when animals came to drink. So, before sleep, ancient humans asked questions most of us never ask. Is the ground dry, and is there fuel? Where is the wind coming from? Can smoke escape? Are there insects, tracks, or signs of animals nearby? And perhaps the biggest question was this: who is close enough to wake me if something happens? Because ancient sleep was rarely a private event. The group was not beside the bed. In many ways, the group was part of it. Today, many people imagine perfect sleep as being alone in a quiet room. For ancient humans, alone could mean exposed. Bodies close together created warmth. Shared space created protection. A sleeping camp worked because people became each other's walls. Different people slept and woke at different times. An elder might drift awake while children and tired hunters stayed deep in sleep. This matters because sleep creates a survival paradox. The body needs sleep, but sleep makes the body nearly defenseless. While asleep, a person cannot scan the horizon, hold a tool ready, or judge every small movement in the dark. One solution was social sleep. A single sleeping person is vulnerable. A sleeping group becomes a warning network. If one person hears a branch snap outside, the alarm does not depend on one body alone. If a child cries, nearby adults respond. If the fire dims, someone may stir before darkness fully takes over. This does not mean ancient camps were peaceful every night. It means sleep was shared, because survival was shared. And this may be why modern loneliness can feel so physical, as if the body remembers older, dangerous nights. We are not only thinking creatures, we are bodies shaped by nights when closeness meant warmth, warning, and life. When you put a blanket around yourself today, the fabric is modern, but the feeling is much older. It is the feeling of being covered, enclosed, protected, and not completely exposed to the dark around you. But even with bodies close together, one ancient problem waited at the edge of every sleeping place: darkness. For us, darkness is usually an inconvenience. We switch on a lamp, charge a phone, or leave a hallway light glowing. Even when the room is dark, we know its shape. The bed is here, the door is there, the floor is flat. But for ancient humans, darkness changed the world. Distance disappeared, and every familiar shape could become something uncertain. A harmless bush could look like a crouching animal. A small sound could grow larger inside the tired human mind. The edge of firelight became a border. Inside were faces, tools, warmth, known ground, and people who might wake. Outside that border was uncertainty. Not every shadow held danger, but ignoring the wrong shadow could cost everything. So the sleeping place needed light. But light came from fire, and fire brought its own problems. Fire gave warmth. Fire gave visibility. Fire made some animals cautious. Most importantly, fire gave the group a center. But fire needed fuel. It made smoke. It could die down. It could also burn bedding placed too close. A modern bed asks almost nothing from you. You climb in, pull the blanket, and it simply works. An ancient sleeping place demanded attention until the last waking person finally let their eyes close. Someone had to bring wood, place bedding away from sparks, and keep children from rolling too close to heat. Someone had to understand smoke, wind, and shelter, then decide whether the fire should burn bright, low, or as coals. This is why a bed was never just a soft surface. It was a controlled environment built against night. Ancient humans were building tiny islands of safety in a world that did not stop being dangerous at sunset. Now think about insects. Modern people complain when one mosquito enters a bedroom, even with walls, screens, sprays, and clean sheets. In prehistory, insects were not a tiny annoyance. They could disturb sleep, bite skin, and make a resting place unusable. Dry plant bedding could help, but if left too long, It could also collect pests, dirt, dampness, and old smells. So old bedding could be cleared away, fresh plants gathered, and the sleeping surface reset before another vulnerable night. Fire and ash may have helped reset some areas, while certain plants may have mattered because insects disliked them. Again, this was not luxury. This was technology, built from materials so ordinary that modern people barely notice them. A mattress is technology. A blanket is technology. A pillow is technology. But so is a layer of grass. Sometimes technology is dry grass under a tired body, quietly separating skin from stone, insects, dampness, and cold. Sometimes technology is knowing that one side of a shelter floods after rain, while another side stays dry enough. Sometimes it is placing children between adults, so small bodies stay warm and protected when the fire grows weak. Sometimes it is sleeping near fire, but not too near, close enough for warmth and far enough from sparks. Sometimes it is turning dangerous ground into a place where the human body can disappear into sleep safely. But what did they actually sleep on? The honest answer is simple and complicated at once. It depended. Ancient humans lived across different climates, landscapes, and periods. A warm savanna camp was not a cold Ice Age camp. There was no single prehistoric bed, only many human solutions to the same question. How do we survive the night? And this is where the story becomes surprisingly modern, because your bed today is not just furniture. It is an ancient answer. The mattress replaces dry grass. The blanket replaces hide, fur, and shared warmth. The pillow replaces whatever supported a tired head. The bedroom replaces the protected cave corner. The locked door replaces the watchful group. The nightlight replaces the fire. Your bedroom is a prehistoric camp, upgraded until the danger became invisible and comfort began to feel completely normal. But comfort is not normal in human history. For most humans who ever lived, sleep was a negotiation with the environment. Even the position of the body mattered. On hard ground, shoulders ached, hips pressed down, and the neck searched for support. A person might curl to conserve warmth, shift often, or use an arm, hide, plant bundle, or tool bag. And yet, ancient humans slept, because bodies must sleep, exhaustion wins, and groups made sleep possible. For modern people, sleeping on the ground feels like camping, punishment, poverty, or adventure. For them, it was the starting point. The challenge was not escaping the ground completely. The challenge was improving it enough to survive the night. And in some ways, we still carry that ancient checklist inside us whenever the room grows dark and quiet. Why does a blanket feel safer even when the room is warm? Why do strange night noises become louder than daylight sounds? Why do children often want someone nearby when they sleep? Why does one small light change the feeling of a whole room? These feelings are not random. They are echoes from nights when boundaries meant safety and exposure meant danger. Ancient humans built those boundaries from plants, hides, stones, fire, bodies, and memory. But the deepest boundary was emotional. One powerful thing about ancient sleep is that it was harsh, but also deeply human, gathered around warmth before the dark took over. Before sleep, people may have repaired tools, shared food, watched children, remembered routes, warned each other, and planned the next day. The sleeping place was not only where bodies rested, it was where the group became a group again. A safe place to sleep is never only physical. It tells the nervous system, for now, you can let go. A child needed warmth. An injured adult needed protection. A tired hunter needed recovery. A mother needed a safe place for the baby. Beds did not create those needs. Beds only answered them later. Before beds, humans answered them with each other. So do not imagine only one lonely caveman shivering on a rock. Imagine a small circle of life in the dark. Fire reduced to coals. Grass pressed flat by bodies. A hide pulled over a child. A hand resting near a tool. Smoke drifted toward the cave roof. Someone half awake listened. Outside, Wind moved through grass beyond the firelight.
No bed,
But not no protection. No mattress, but not no intelligence. No bedroom, but not no home. The first bed was built by cold, fear, care, memory, and the need to wake up alive. When morning came, the ancient bed might be damp, smoky, kicked apart, replaced, or left behind as the group moved on. So when you lie on a mattress tonight, remember what it does. It tells your body the ground has been tamed. Your blanket delays the cold. Your pillow gives shape to rest. Your closed door tells the dark to stay outside. Can we close our eyes and still wake up tomorrow? That ancient question is still hidden inside every bed.